Ice, what can you tell us about the audience out there about something about the book that people are really going to enjoy? And can you give us a little synopsis on the book?
Um, Split Decision is a book about myself and my crime partner Spike, and it starts off and it gives you a lot of insight on Ice-T before I started making records. Some of the stuff I did, I was never a killer. I was just in the streets trying to survive. I'm not a gang banger, but I lived amongst the gangs of Los Angeles. And Spike was my partner, and one of my partners of many. And there was a point in my life where I decided that rap was going to be an option for me, and I decided to cut ties with all criminal activity. Spike wanted to do that. He was a rapper too, but he felt he needed to save up some money or get some money or hustle up some money before that. He sent two crews on two jewelry licks out of town. He felt that he wasn't there, so he would just mastermind him. Well, in the course of one of the licks, somebody got murdered, and they gave Spike the. You don't have to be the murderer in these crimes. All you have to do is be the person that sent the people to do it, and you get that mastermind thing. Charles Manson never killed nobody. They'll put you in jail forever. Uh, and they wanted to give Spike a life sentence. He ended up getting a 35 to life. Uh, and I stayed down with him. He was my boy. I was there with him the whole ride. And when he came home, he said, "Man, I want to do something. I want to warn some kids about this life that I chose and the difference in the routes we took." So Split Decision is a cautionary tale of two young brothers from South Central's lives that show you that one little split decision can change the trajectory of your whole life. And it's so easy to get a life sentence. I'm watching. I was just reading on the internet today. Some kid, 20-year-old, just got 25 years. Mm. So you're out in these streets and you busting your guns, and them bullets end up someplace. And if they happen to kill somebody or a bystander or something like that, that might have been cool that night. You might have looked cool in front of your homeboys. It might have been gangster to you at that moment, but it's a wrap. Your whole life is going to be gone. And for that moment. So you have to know when you're making these decisions. You have to use your gut. And so hopefully people will read it. People that are my fans might get a better insight on who I really am. And I think it should be mandatory reading in schools.
I got a question from the book as well. In the book, you talked about both of your parents passing from heart attacks, man. I wanted to know, how did that impact you with relationships and just internally moving forward with your life after that? And how were you able to overcome that as well?
Well, my mother passed when I was in the third grade. So when your parents die that young, you don't really have that much experience with them. I mean, right now you probably can't think back to when you were 5 or 6 or 7. So your your brain is your memory. Our memories really kick in around 11 or 12. If you think back when you were, a youngster, a toddler, you might remember a toy, you might remember a moment, but you don't have vivid. Like in your teens, you start to remember all through high school and stuff. So I was, I'm not gonna say fortunate, but my parents passed when I was still so young that it didn't weigh on me. I think the way a lot of people who are adults that have their parents, it's harder. So my mother died when I was in the third grade. I lived with my father. My father passed when I was in the seventh grade, and I was shipped to Los Angeles to live with his sister. I think it just kind of affected me in a way like, why am I getting dealt these bad hands? Like, why, why am I out of everybody don't have parents? Like, how did I end up in this situation? I left my aunt's house when I was 17. My father was getting Social Security, and I got $250 from her. I spent 100 on rent, another 100 uh, to buy food, and I had $50. I was still in the 12th grade. And I've never lived with a relative or in any other person's house or roof my entire life. I've taken care of myself from 17 on till today. So my survival skills are different than other people's. Even my friends who was out hustling with me, they go home and sleep on the couch or go home to their bedroom, or moms would make them a plate or all that old kind of shit. I never had that. I disconnected from Christmas and holidays. I would never celebrate them because I never wanted to be in someone else's house. So, you know, honestly, it took me a while for me to even understand what family was, you know, and my boys and my friends. That's why people talk about gangs, but gangs are surrogate families. For a lot of kids that don't have fathers and don't have, you know, that got a broken home, they connect in these packs like wolves. We pack packs of kids. And I was one of them kids growing up. But see, you got to remember, look at me, man. I'm light skinned. I got light eyes. So I had to teach everybody everything with light eyes ain't to be fucked. So I had to be a little bit more hard than the other cats, you know, because I don't look hard. So I had to prove myself around, especially dark skinned niggas. Dark skinned niggas always want to take off on light skinned niggas. So I had to learn how to fight and defend myself. You know, I'm 6 foot right now, 220. So I'm not afraid of anybody.
Damn right.
Anybody, but you know, I survived. That's what I like to tell people all the time. I'm never trying to tell you I'm a tough guy. I just maybe ducked that one fade that might have got me killed. I might have got out of that room just early enough. But I had to, because I didn't have any brothers or sisters or nobody else.